All right, what's going on, guys? So we got our first Schenectady police vlog out of the way, and now we're currently working on our Schenectady Cares vlog. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of an intro. If you missed the press conference or you haven't been keeping up with our Facebook page, Schenectady Cares is up and running. And we're gonna put the entire press conference up on our YouTube channel, and then eventually get it off to Facebook as well. But I mean, the basic be all end all for that is if you're in the grips of addiction, or you know somebody that's in the grips of addiction and you need help, all you have to do is walk into the station and ask for help. And that's what we're gonna do. The Schenectady Police Department is going to help you. And that's literally all you need to do. So please, 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 there is hope, and we're here for you, and we're waiting. So, like I said, I'm gonna get the rest of the press conference up there, and then Lieutenant Mascherone and myself have a little conclusion at the end of it. So we will see you at the end. Thanks.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. This project that we're going to talk about today has been several years in the making for lots of different agencies within the city, as well as the police department. So we're going to kind of start things this morning. I'd like to invite up Mayor McCarthy to say a few words.
Good morning. I want to welcome everyone to Schenectady Police Station. I want to acknowledge my colleagues, City Hall, Councilman Vince Riggi, Councilwoman Karen Zalewski-Walzunas, and the Majority Leader, Councilmember John Palomini. This announcement is a great step forward for our community. The Schenectady's CARE program puts forth a message of compassion, a pragmatic approach to a results-oriented solution. This is going to provide help and support to individuals who are struggling with addiction and will aid in a safe and successful journey to recovery. I want to thank some of our community partners, New Choices Recovery, Catholic Charities, Team Schenectady, and the University at Albany's School of Public Health. We're bringing all these groups together, again, to deal with what are complex situations in individuals' lives, and to put forth, again, a clear pathway for them for recovery and stability in their individual situations. And with that, I'll introduce our great and dynamic police chief, Eric Clifford, to get into some of the more details. Chief, again, I want to just thank you, Chief, for the time and effort that you've put into this program to make it possible.
Thank you, Mayor. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate the leadership that you and the City Council have shown as it relates to this program. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Police Department this morning to talk about a program that we feel is going to save lives. I'd like to acknowledge a few people in the audience today that are very instrumental in making this program happen. Lieutenant Ryan Mascherone, he's taken the lead as our neighborhood engagement lieutenant on putting this program forward. He's, on behalf of the agency, he's done the most work as it relates to this. Chief Peter Volkman from the Chatham Police Department, he's been with us for 10 years as our peer support clinical director. And as my colleague, fellow chief, he's provided leadership with this program. That's been very important. Dr. Stuart Rosenblatt from New Choices Recovery Center, Laura Combs from New Choices Recovery Center, Stephanie Lau from Catholic Charities, Megan Eaton from Team Schenectady, along with Dean Lansley, and Dr. Tomoko Udo from Albany Public School Public Health. The name Schenectady Cares is both simple and symbolic, because we do care here in Schenectady. If you need help, all you have to do is ask. I'd like to take this opportunity to speak to the community directly. Many people may ask, why now? Why are we doing this? I wonder if the department can handle this additional workload and responsibility. My answer to this is the substance abuse has had an effect on our community in many ways. Addiction fuels the illegal sale of drugs, which ultimately results in criminal activity, violent crime, property crimes. No community or neighborhood is immune to this. This is not specific to Schenectady. This is not a homegrown problem. This is a problem that comes to us from near and far away, neighboring counties, even big cities nearby. Policing and arresting people that have addictions is not stopping the problem. We recognize that we need to do something different. Education helps, but in addition to education, more is needed. I was approached when I was promoted to chief almost 3 years ago by a couple individuals. One of them is here today, Chad Putnam from New Choices, and Megan Eden from Team Schenectady. And they asked if we would be interested in partnering up to do a program. Actually, we were asked if we would do a program to help people with addictions. And my answer at the time was, I would love to, but from a staffing perspective and workload perspective, we just wouldn't be able to handle it. As time passed and I reflected, each and every time when I was out in the community talking about us being leaders in the community, I always thought about those conversations and my saying that I would love to do it, but we didn't have the time. We're out there saying that we're leaders in the community, we had to do something about it. And from a personal perspective, there's been a couple things in my life over the last 5 years that affected me personally. I had a friend die of suicide, and I had somebody die of an overdose. And as leaders in the community, I had coming to me the resources available to do something about it. I had a lieutenant that had a passionate drive to do something about it. I had a friend at New Choices that wanted to do something about it, a friend on Team Schenectady that wanted to do something about it. So we put together this team, a task force, if you will, with the support of the mayor and the city council, to put together Team Schenectady. This program is personal to me, but make no mistake about it. This is a business decision that we're making to attack the drugs problem that we have in the city. We're taking away from dealers the demand for the drugs. That's why we're doing this. At the same time, we're helping people. We're giving them hope that if they want help, we will be here to receive them, and we will get them the hope that they need, the help that they need with the professionals that are well suited to give them the help. I'm proud to introduce Lieutenant Ryan Mascherone, our neighborhood engagement lieutenant, who will update you on exactly what we did leading up to today and where we hope to go in the future. Lieutenant Mascherone.
I'm Ryan Mascherone. This program has been about 2 years in the making. I'll talk a little bit about kind of what the program is and where it came from. So it's a PARI program. I suggest for everybody to kind of look up what PARI is. PARI is P-A-A-R-I, Police Assisted Addiction Recovery Initiative. And PARI was born out of the Boston area. Gloucester was a police department up just to the north of Boston that was dealing with heroin problems there. And they needed to look at a different way to try to attack it. And it's kind of really the grassroots effort. It was police officers, so basically someone could walk in off the street and go to a police officer inside and say, I need help. I'm dying of this addiction, and I need someone to help me. And they would literally navigate the waters of insurance. They would navigate kind of the process of getting someone into care. And then from that, it kind of blossomed across the Boston area. And then Chief Oakman was one of the pioneers of bringing it to New York State. And we've seen a little bit of it down in the southern corridor, and it's starting to make its way around the state, now it'll make its way around the country. And PARI programs throughout the country are a little bit different, and no two PARI programs are the same. So ours is not necessarily what Gloucester's was, and it's not kind of the Michigan model, which was kind of more community-based, who would be the ones to kind of help get people to navigate the waters of insurance. We're kind of the hybrid of both. And it was because of the need. Obviously, we're a busy department, fast moving, and we wanted to be able to address the needs that people would have. but we also understand the amount of work that goes before the officer on a daily basis. So we partner with the agencies that are here. We also have DSS, the social services, who have helped us immensely with this process. And basically just someone can walk into the police station, say I need help. They're gonna make contact with an officer. That officer is gonna contact Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, New Choices Recovery Center, and they'll send out a professional. After those hours, on the weekends, Catholic Charities has kind of picked up the ball and helped us cover those hours. And then we'll also make a phone call to Team Schenectady. And Team Schenectady is a group of volunteers that are going to be here to help. They're not police officers. They could be moms, dads of people who've been affected by this. And it's really somebody that can just sit with the individual that's come in seeking help. We can't keep somebody here against their will. We don't want to. We want them to stay and try to get the help that they need. So this Team Schenectady volunteers are really just somebody that's not a police officer that can sit here and say, you know, you're doing the right thing, this is a good choice for you, and we want you to be successful with it. And the last kind of partner in that is kind of the silent partner in the Albany School of Public Health. And they're providing just a voluntary survey, which can be done on the iPad or tablet that's right there. And the survey is not designed to create, we're not trying to farm informants. We're not trying to figure out anything that has to do with the law enforcement and things. We're trying to figure out who's coming in to utilize the program. Where are they coming from, and do we need to adjust the needs? Or do we need to adjust our approach? Or do we need to contact other agencies in the area to say that you guys have, you know, something going on there that you would want to maybe look at a program like this to address it? So that's UAlbany's. That's it in a lot of ways. That's the program. It's simplistic. I think the success will be in the simplicity of it. It's going to be, if you're in the grips of, if you've been dealing with this disorder and you come to the reality that I need help right now, you don't have to think like who's open now, who's open then, like where to, just walk into the police station, say I need help, and we'll do the rest. We'll figure out who to get to you at the time. And yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. It's been 2 years now, and we're really proud to be standing here. And I'm really proud of the program and the partners that we've got. And hopefully, you know, there's lots of people in our community that are suffering, you know, in the shadows, that need help. And we want to make them feel as though they can come to us and ask for that, and we'll give that for them. So I appreciate that. And I know that our agencies that are very modest and probably don't want to come up and do a whole speech or anything, but they're all represented here. Everybody is represented, so feel free to ask any questions of them or myself. That's it. Thank you very much.
Is there a sort of amnesty involved? Like, let's say someone comes in and needs help, but they might have something legal on them.
Sure.
Is this where you take the approach of, okay, we'll I guess ignore that for the sake of helping you better yourself?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So it gives the officers the discretion to say that we're not going to make the arrest, which we could make right now. We will take it, we will log it in, it'll be destroyed eventually. You know, you can put that out of your life. We don't want that to be a barrier to coming in and asking for help. We want people to feel as though they can walk in here and ask.
I don't know if this is a question for you or for the chief, but do your officers carry Narcan, and if so, okay.
They don't right now.
Is that something that you guys would like to do in the future?
Yeah, I think this type of approach and changing our approach in general to the opioid epidemic especially may change that dialogue in the future. I think it's just we're adjusting our approach altogether. So it certainly would be a conversation I would think that would be very close.
Although the opioid epidemic is kind of at the forefront of this, is this open to anyone with any kind of
If it's
addiction?
alcohol addiction, anything. It could be any type of substance use disorder that someone has. We would be willing to take them in and try to find help for them.
Can you speak to a little bit of when you're an officer on the streets and you do encounter someone who clearly has an addiction, and that is, you know, the reason why you're responding, or kind of is linked up with whatever crime it is you're responding to? I'm sure you guys can have a few people who are in the community who, you know, when you respond to them, that's what this is. Can you give the public and us kind of an idea of how difficult that is as an officer to figure out, you know, well, this is the law, but also this is the right thing to do to get the person help?
The policy will leave it open to the officer's discretion. Obviously, this is not amnesty all the way around, so there's still going to be arrests for drug possession. possession of things. The core of this program was really designed kind of at the beginning for people that are willing to seek help and walk into the station. There's evolution. It's been evolving probably since, and Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been about 5 years, 6 years of party programs. So there's some evolution there as well, and we built a little bit into that, a little bit more discretion into our policy as well, because you're gonna go to these, families that say, my loved one is dying here, and they don't need another night in jail, they need help right now. And we want to be able to give the officers that discretion. So we're just asking for them to get them down to the station, kind of home base for us, where we can kind of figure out what the next step would be for them.
How important are those volunteers who will, obviously give up their own time to sit with people who do need this help, and how can someone, if they want to be a volunteer, do so?
Yeah, so Megan Eden's here from Team Schenectady, so I would just stress for them to get a hold of Team Schenectady and reach out to them. We'll get contact information and everything to you. I think they're going to be extremely helpful. I think the funny part is, I don't see myself in this uniform every day. I see myself as just normal, everyday person, but I also understand that there's a barrier here because of the uniform. So having somebody from the community, a mom or a dad, brother, sister, anybody that could come in and just sit with somebody. Maybe it'll be sitting in silence, but at least there's somebody there with you that can advocate for you. Or maybe it's just that person that can sit there and say to you, you're doing the right thing. We want you to stay with us. We don't want you to walk out right now. So I think they're going to be extremely, extremely important to our program. And that was a big reason why when we were looking at all these models, we said to ourselves, what model do we want to adapt to this city? And I think that's why we didn't discount having volunteers, although they're not going to be necessarily navigating the insurance waters and all those types of things. They're vast. I think they're going to be extremely important to the program.
How would you categorize the extent of the addiction crisis here in Schenectady?
I think it's probably easier to illustrate just in the one time. I don't have necessarily numbers in front of me right now, but we certainly I've been to, even in my short time on patrol, and every patrolman that's here could talk about going to the death of an individual that's our age or younger, and we're just, we got to look at a different way to do this. So I think again, it's much more poignantly illustrated in those individual encounters where you're going to many have published it, like a death in a parking lot of a supermarket or in a bathroom. We don't want people to, we want to give people a way to deal with this.
Have you seen like a shift from pills to heroin to fentanyl to, how is the drug usage kind of varying over the years?
And we see a lot of street-based heroin. I think that would be powdered heroin or injectable heroin. Certainly there's many stories of high-profile individuals who have gone from using prescription medication, having that prescription cut off, and eventually going to street-based heroin to fulfill the pain relief, or just sometimes the thing is just to get themselves back to square one. That's the one thing that was very eye-opening in doing this, is that we need to change the perspective that this is just fun. This is not fun for most people that are dealing with this anymore. The good time ended a long time ago, and a lot are just trying to get themselves back to even in a lot of ways.
Do you think that this is just another step in kind of society as a whole moving their perspective on something like the opioid epidemic?
Yeah, I think so, and I think Chief could definitely speak more to that a lot better than I can. But yeah, I think society is beginning to accept programs like this. I think maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, for a police department to stand here and say that we're willing to recognize that somebody that's dealing with a substance use disorder is medically in need of something other than a night in jail would be kind of a radical thing to say. But to see all these programs popping up all over the country and all over the state really shows there's an evolution from a police department's perspective, but also there's support from the community as well. And we hope to see it here. I think we definitely will. This is a pretty amazing turnout. We didn't expect this amount of people to be in here. Obviously, the room wouldn't be 90 degrees right now.
Can you talk about the success that the program has had in some other areas? You mentioned it's been a few years, or 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. So, the one that I know the best is probably Chief's program down in Chatham Cares, Chatham, New York. Chatham's a town of 2,000, and you have upwards of 300, almost 300.
225.
225 diversions. So that's for a town of 2,000. We're a town of over 60,000. So we'll see what will happen with this program. But I think that speaks to the success of Chief's program and programs like this. I think, yeah.
Chief, would you mind giving us kind of just an overview of how the program has been successful in your area?
Sure.
Hi, my name is Peter Volkman, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. My last drink was September 2nd, 1995. Recovery works. I want everyone in this room to know that. I didn't need a handout, I needed a hand up. And so I've taken something that's near and dear to me. Every person who's struggling, we always think of the last moments of that. And so here we are. So why did I do this? And never expecting this to happen, I'll just tell you that. I'm just a person in long-term recovery trying to pay it forward from somebody who saved my life that way. And so what was your question there?
I think
A little bit overwhelming, I didn't expect this to happen. So,
how successful has the program been in Chatham? And just give us an overview of kind of
Okay.
how you brought it in and why it's successful and why it works for you.
Chatham Police Department's a part-time police agency, made up of about 20 part-time officers. Our yearly budget to run a police department is approximately $180,000 a year. That's it. That's how much we have to run a whole police department, as best we can as a part-time agency. And so everything told me you can't do it. But there just comes a point when you just got to try something different. And I made that try, and I always felt as a police chief, community conversations will lead to community solutions. And I think this is a testament here about the community conversations that we've all had. Even seeing the guard here is a testament to community conversations. We have a big problem, a huge problem in our society right now. And so we have to do something different. And I look at it as a supply and demand. We can't stop the supply. I'll just tell you that. But we could, if we try to lower the demand, maybe that'll make a difference. And every soul, and I call him a soul that walks in, is a good person. I've yet to meet somebody that isn't a good person that walked in saying, I need help. Statistically in this room, there are people here who have either struggled or has a family member or a friend that's struggling right now. So this hits all of us. And so I just took an idea, and I went to Albany saying, I'm a little police department, I have nothing, but I also knew we needed to find some metrics. We needed to find some type of statistics going on, and we found out that 225 people came from 8 different counties. And every person that came in, we have a 100% success rate of putting somebody into treatment. We have never turned anybody away to say there's no hope for me. And so we've learned the dysfunctional system and how it works, and we bypass it. Because we're kind of the cops. We don't have the luxury of saying, sorry, can't help you. And so we have that mentality of let's just get somebody a treatment. And we found a bed for everybody. And so we're just coming to Schenectady, who I'm really a very close ties to for a decade, of the fine men and women in this police department. You will not have this is one of the best police departments I've ever had pleasure to work with. And for them to take this leap of faith with the community, and I think that's the key here. This couldn't happen with just Schenectady Police dealing with it. And arresting our way out of it, you're putting the problem on the backs of police. Stop putting the problem on the backs of police. And why don't we as a community, and that's what's demonstrated here, is a community coming together and saying, okay, it's not just Schenectady Police, it's going to be everybody that's coming forward. And we're looking forward to that. So our success is that we placed everybody. 2 years ago, the village of Chatham was deemed statistically the safest village in New York State. And so we have the numbers, we have the metrics that it works. I'm very confident that as this rolls out and more people come forward, I guarantee you crime's going to drop. Guarantee you that. Because it makes logical sense to every person in this room. If you have somebody with a substance use disorder and they get into recovery, they are not going to be doing things that they normally would, including criminal activity to fuel that. need for that substance abuse disorder to continue on. So, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, just what year did you guys start your program?
We started 2016. We're almost on our, actually we're going into our 4th year with it. And so we have over 225 souls have walked in.
You mentioned 8 counties, so, I mean, here in Schenectady, anybody can come in, you don't have to be a Schenectady resident, same thing for you guys.
Well, that's police service. Any person who needs help, they may not be a city of Schenectady resident, they get in a car accident, Schenectady police are gonna respond. So it's the same premise as any other call for service. Any family comes in with their loved one and says, we need help. That's what police do. And we'll help them. And we assess and refer. So we'll make the proper assessment and make the proper referral. Because that's what police do day in and day out. They come onto situations, they make proper assessments, and they make referrals. And some of that referrals may be an arrest, some of that referrals may be to DSS, to other agencies that are here. So this is no different than any call for service.
To what extent was it a challenge finding bed availability?
Excuse me?
To what extent was it a challenge finding available beds?
The challenge, actually, you gotta remember almost 4 years ago when we started, there weren't the agencies and the nonprofits and the money that was coming in to support recovery. So our challenge was, there was a dysfunctional system in place that wasn't built for the individual to find the recovery mechanisms. And there's a lot of problems with the system, I'll just tell you that. So we made a choice that our job is, and the job of Schenectady Cares, is to get them from point A to point B. Because when they are ready for recovery, and I know when I was ready for recovery, that window of opportunity of recovery is time limited. So it becomes almost like, okay, they're ready, this time will pass. And so it's time limited to help somebody when they're ready, because their will for recovery is now stronger than the substance use disorder. That will doesn't stay strong for a long time. And so that was a big thing. And the stigma, I'll just be quite honest, that the stigma's still here, and we're still dealing with that stigma. I'm not a bad person. I have morals. I'm high integrity as a person. I'm an example of every person who's in recovery. And I made the conscious choice to come out of the shadows for that reason. And I think that was part of our success, was that I came out of the shadows to say I'm in recovery. And now we have so many organizations ready in this fine city here, just saying, okay, we're here. Let's take that stigma away, and let's get you help. When you're ready, we're ready, type of thing.
Is that a key component to recovery, that the person who has the addiction needs to want it? It's not really something you can force on someone?
It's kind of like someone having a heart attack, goes into a hospital, they say you're having a heart attack, and they say, I'm walking out. Let's say someone has cancer, and they decide not to get cancer treatment. Right? It's the same thing, so that will has to be there. So that's important, because the addiction, we're learning from our medical community and our recovery community that it hijacks the brain in proper and thinking. It's just a total hijack. So when I meet so many parents, I get this, Chief, this isn't my son, this isn't my daughter, this isn't, you have to understand that, this isn't my loved one, and I get it, and I say, I understand that, their brain has been hijacked, and this isn't that, and they have to detox first, and then they have to go to rehab and get treatment, just like any other medical problem that you have. This is a medical condition, and we have to start seeing it that way.
It must be great. It must be great to see another police department pick up this program. Do you see it in the future spreading even further throughout the capital region and the state?
I pray every day. Every day I pray. Just one more police department, I pray.
Both chiefs mentioned that you can't arrest your way out of the problem. What kind of problems did you see as far as recidivism, or what led to the frustration of deciding the arrests aren't necessarily working? Were you arresting people for possession and then no treatment, you see them next week or next month? What kind of issues did you see on that front? Either one, if you wanted to answer that.
I just see it as a person in long-term recovery, knowing where they are at that moment in that darkness of that substance use disorder. So, and I'm not sure about the city statistics, and maybe the chief wants to answer that.
I can tell you that back when I worked in patrol, and even as a detective, there was we'd see the same people out on the streets, and then we'd see family members, and they would ask the question, what can we do? Is there anything you can tell us? Asking for advice, and we didn't have the answers. Well, today we're gonna have the answers moving forward, where we can send family members to help them help their family members. So we see the same people over and over, and those are the ones that we see. What we need to remember is that there's many functioning addicts out there who are going down that path. They know they are, and before they become visible, maybe they'll seek help. Those are the ones we want to try to get to, is before they get to the point where they're out of control. So it's A to Z that we're looking to help, not just the worst of the worst.
And I want to clear something up from Daryl's first question on Narcan. We do not equip the police department with Narcan, but we run every piece of apparatus in the fire department equipped and staffed to provide advanced life support. So where you have really under a 3-minute response time, it's much more effective to have the fire department respond to a medical event where you have a paramedic that is trained to do a more thorough evaluation, and again, if necessary, and it does happen on an all too frequent basis, where we are using Narcan to reverse the effects of a drug overdose.
If you guys can help, even just one person through this program, does that make it all worth it?
Yes. One person, that's going to be a success. All right, Bill.
Thank
no more
you.
questions. Thank you very much.
I gotta get in a little bit here. Like Lieutenant Mascherone, just doing his thing. I thought he did a great speech, and we'll talk a little bit more with him later on. But overall, I think this was an awesome press conference. Looking forward to getting this up and posted. Alright, what's going on, YouTube? So, we just finished up with our Schenectady Cares news conference. This is something that Lieutenant Mascherone has been working on for legitimately over 2 years now. We had Chief Volkman in here speaking about it. We had Mayor McCarthy. We had Chief Clifford. It was just a great overall press conference. We had the media in there. I mean, Lieutenant Mascherone and I were just talking about it. Like, we actually got applause for it, and we're gonna post the video of the entire news conference. But I wanted Ryan, Lieutenant Mascherone, to kind of speak about this whole process and how it just feels so good to get it out, and we're blessed. We're truly happy to have the support that we have from everyone, from the chiefs, from the mayor's office, from the general media, and just people in general. The people of Schenectady and everywhere else. I mean, this is huge for us. So, Ryan, this started for you two years ago, bringing this up and trying to figure out a way, getting the promotion and everything, and then kind of being handed, this is what Chief, this is what I want to do, and we're gonna put this together. We're gonna make it work. So I don't know. I think you should be proud of yourself, and I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. Oh, it's been a good journey. It's been a long journey for us. From beginning to end, it certainly wasn't something that we came up with on our own. It was brought to us by, again, Chief Volkman, who's downstate, who's been running this program for a few years now, and also some of the partners here that are in Schenectady, with Team Schenectady and New Choices and Catholic Charities and UAlbany School of Public Health. Really, we've been kind of all getting together monthly, if not more than that, to put this program into place, and we've been ready to do it for quite a while now. We're certainly happy to get it off the ground and running. We'll adjust as we need to with a program, but I think we just needed to get it off the ground so we can learn where we need to make the adjustments. So to say we're ready to go is an understatement. Nick and I have been working diligently on it. We've actually already done one referral successfully. And that person is kind of on the road to recovery, which is what it's all about.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Couldn't be more proud. And that's the human side of the program. You know, there's a lot of logistical hoops to jump through and lots of things, but when we brought it to Mayor McCarthy, he just said, you know, give it a shot, let's go with it. And Chief Clifford as well, so just let's try it. And our Commissioner Idens, everybody's been supportive the whole way through. And then today with the press conference, you know, in our press release, we put out at the end of the press release to say to the media, like, you're our partner in this. The success of this program will be getting the word out, and we need your help in getting it out. And to see a room that was completely full of media to the point where there was nowhere left to stand was a pretty amazing thing to see that they would want to be a partner in this too. So
It was epic.
It was pretty amazing.
Pretty
It was
amazing.
pretty cool. So to think back to when we started to now has been a long journey, but I think he and I are ready to go for it. We're just waiting for the next person to come in for help.
And we're here. So when you're ready and you're dealing with addiction, whatever it is, we just want you to know that you're not alone. And we truly mean it. We are here for you, and we will do whatever we can to help you. And I don't know, anything else you want to add to it?
Back to the roots of policing.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that comes in here and does their interview to get the job here, it's almost cliche. It always says that I'm doing this to help people, and this program kind of gets to the core of what helping people is really about, and why a lot of us took this job. So we're excited. That's all I can say.
Woo!
Thank
So thank you guys. We'll talk to you soon.